For over 1,000 years, one name echoed across continents: Rome. Rome was more than an empire. It was an idea. But what makes an empire great? And what causes it to fall? From the deserts of Egypt to the misty shores of Britain, from the mountains of Germania to the bustling markets of Spain, the Roman Empire stood as the mightiest force the world had ever seen. Its legions conquered vast lands. Its laws shaped civilizations. Its roads, aqueducts, and cities still mark the landscape of Europe and beyond, a symbol of order, power, and ambition. Rome's story is one of brilliant triumphs and devastating failures, of visionary leaders and corrupt rulers, of dazzling wealth and ruinous decline. This is the story of how Rome rose and how it crumbled. Rome was not built in a day, nor did it begin as an empire. For centuries, Rome had been a republic, ruled by elected officials, where power was shared among the people. But ambition has a way of reshaping history. In 27 BCE, a single man took control: Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome. With him, the republic faded and the empire was born. Under Augustus and his successors, Rome expanded like never before. The mighty legions marched across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, crushing enemies, building cities, and spreading Roman culture. At its height, Rome stretched from Britain to the sands of Arabia, home to over 50 million people. Roman roads connected the empire, allowing trade and armies to move at incredible speed. Roman law brought order to diverse peoples, and at its heart was Rome itself, a city of towering marble buildings, bustling markets, and the awe-inspiring Colosseum. For nearly 2 centuries, Rome thrived under the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. It was a golden age of stability, wealth, and architectural wonders. But even in Rome's greatest era, cracks were beginning to form. Every empire has its peak, and after its peak comes the fall. In 180 CE, Emperor Marcus Aurelius died, the last of Rome's 5 good emperors. His death marked the end of stability, and Rome began its slow descent. What followed was chaos. Weak and corrupt rulers fought for power, some reigning only for months before being assassinated. The empire fractured into rival factions. Rome's wealth had once come from conquest, but as expansion slowed, so did its economy. Heavy taxes crushed farmers. Trade declined. The once great cities fell into disrepair. But the greatest danger came from beyond Rome's borders. Barbarian tribes, long held at bay, began pressing against the empire's weakened defenses. The legions, once invincible, were stretched too thin. Desperation led to dangerous decisions. To defend itself, Rome relied more on mercenaries, foreign soldiers who fought for money, not loyalty. Many of these very soldiers would one day turn against Rome itself. By the 4th century, Rome was in crisis. In a desperate attempt to hold the empire together, Emperor Diocletian divided Rome into 2 halves, East and West. The Eastern Roman Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, would survive for another 1,000 years. But the Western Roman Empire? Its days were numbered. In 410 CE, the unthinkable happened. Rome was sacked. The mighty city, once thought untouchable, was overrun by the Visigoths, led by King Alaric. For the first time in 800 years, a foreign army walked the streets of Rome. The empire limped on for a few more decades, but its fate was sealed. In 476 CE, the last Roman emperor, a boy named Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. Rome, the eternal city, the greatest empire of its time, had fallen. But did Rome truly die? Its empire collapsed, its legions vanished, and its cities crumbled. But its influence, at its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the windswept shores of Britain to the sands of the Middle East. It ruled over 60 million people, and built roads, aqueducts, and cities that still stand today. It was a civilization of warriors, politicians, and visionaries, one that shaped the world as we know it. But Rome did not emerge overnight. It was forged through blood, ambition, and an unbreakable will to conquer. How did a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River rise to dominate the known world? This is the story of Rome's rise, from a city of legend to the greatest empire in history. Rome's story begins with a legend. Two brothers, Romulus and Remus, sons of Mars, the god of war, were abandoned as infants, left to die by a jealous king. But fate had other plans. A she-wolf found them, nursed them, and raised them to become warriors. When they came of age, they reclaimed their birthright, building a city on the Palatine Hill. But ambition breeds rivalry. In a bitter conflict, Romulus slew his brother and became the first king of Rome. This was the beginning of a city destined for greatness. For over 2 centuries, Rome was ruled by kings. But in 509 BCE, the Romans overthrew their last monarch, Tarquin the Proud. They had seen enough of tyranny. In its place, they built something new, a republic, a government not ruled by a king, but by the people.